What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. It is time for some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we'll be taking a look at a game between Mouse's MaNa and Aristeo. We're going to be starting things off here on the map, Tal'Darim Altar. In the lower left-hand spawn position, our green Protoss player is going to be Mouse's MaNa. And then over here in the upper right-hand spawn position, the blue Zerg player, Aristeo. So yes, this is going to be a Protoss versus Zerg PvZ, MaNa versus Aristeo here on Tal'Darim Altar. Alright, starting things out, it does appear as if MaNa will be going with that Forge Fast Expand build, starting off with the pylon right there at the front of his natural expansion, and then he'll be moving out to get some scouting intel immediately after that. It does look like he will be scouting that upper left-hand spawn position, at the same time Aristeo also scouting the upper left-hand position, albeit a little bit slower here with that Overlord. And let's pay attention to how MaNa decides to open now. We're obviously going to expect that Forge Fort first, but after that, it's going to really be up in the air. In fact, he could go Nexus first. That is possible, but to play it safe, we're going to expect Forge first. The next step, of course, is a Gateway, Nexus, and Photon Cannon. It just really depends on what he scouts. It will determine what order he decides to go with. So there we go. We'll be dropping that Forge first. Again, it is nice and safe. Although he could go Nexus first, it's just a bit too risky. Even on a map as large as this, it's a little bit dangerous trying to go for that. So there he is, grabbing the tower just to see if he can catch any drones in transit. Didn't spot anything, and as such, we'll be continuing on through. Aristeo has decided to open up with some one-base play, as you can see here. Hasn't dropped his expansion quite as of yet. He does have that extractor up and gathering, and the spawning pool coming on through. From this point, we should be seeing that expansion as soon as he can get it up. He would like to get it up before 20 supply, although I do think that this probe harass may delay that from happening. We can see the Forge is up right now, and again, we're going to keep an eye on his next step. And I actually think he will be going for the Nexus next. I don't think that he really has too much to worry about, so that he would have to go Cannon first. Again, he spotted that cross-positional spawn location. He saw that the spawning pool wasn't even up yet, so he has got plenty of time. It will be Nexus first, and then we should be seeing that Cannon right after, and then that Gateway. So there you go. Back over here, Aristeo going to be trying to expand as soon as he can. He's got 4 Zerglings coming on through. That will be used to push this probe away. And then that hatchery should be coming on down. First Queen is out. Metabolic Boost coming on through. And again, you can see no more guys on that extractor, so that he can continue to get up those minerals. So there we go. We'll be driving away the probe, coming down with the drone, dropping that expansion. And actually, I'm trying to kill off. No, it doesn't manage to get it, unfortunately. I think that probe should be okay to make it back home. There's that hatchery. So yeah, everything looking pretty good over here for both players. Nothing too crazy in terms of early aggression coming from either, at least as of yet. And there's that Photon Cannon plus the Gateway. And in fact, actually, you can see he did go Gateway first, solely because he had that probe at the natural, and he was just checking to see that, you know, again, such a large map, the Zerglings take so long to move cross-positional that he really didn't have too much to worry about, and he could have gone Gateway first, and as such, he did. So there you go, Cannon gets one shot on these Zerglings. Zergling pushed back, though, before he ends up losing his life. We got a probe. We'll be dropping some proxy pylons over here for later in the game. It could be dropping it right on over in this position as well. This is a very strong position for a proxy pylon, as eventually, when you work in the later stages of the game, your opponent is very likely to expand in that position. So, may very well be seeing that sometime soon. Cybernetics core coming on through here, as well as that first Zealot. You can see is blocking that little bit of space there with the probe for the time being. And again, right now for MaNa, we shouldn't be seeing too much. Probably just going to be focused on droning up and saturating this natural expansion. I do want to see what he decides to get after that Cyber Core, though. If he's going to be going straight for Stargate play or anything fancy like that. We can see right now coming out with the level 1 weapons upgrade, as well as that Warp Gate research. Now with Speedlings in play, unfortunately the probe cannot get any more scouting done. He gets taken out. This guy's still chilling out over there. Let's take a look at Aristeo, see what he's doing. Going to be saturating that natural expansion, starting to work on that creep spread as well. Always good to see. Other than that, not a whole lot. Couple of additional Zerglings coming out, and that will likely just be for scouting. He really doesn't have too much to worry about again right now from MaNa. MaNa, once more, just does not have a lot going on as he continues to work up and saturate this natural expansion. Won't be too much of a threat anytime in the near future. But it does appear, again, to be looking up to work up to level 1 weapons upgrade. Now, what this is going to imply to me is that he will be going Gateway heavy, and he may very well also be planning some sort of a timing push. It is certainly a possibility. We'll have to take a look at what he decides to do. We got 3 Gateways getting laid down over here, and I want to keep an eye as to if he's going to be dropping any additional ones elsewhere or not. Alright, Lings scouting about, find the probe here that was going to be used to drop some proxy pylons. That gets taken out. Gateway number 4 and 5 get dropped. So he's going to be sitting on a total of 6 gateways. Is he going for 7? Looks like he may be. This probe still chilling out. There it is. 7-gate push is what we'll be seeing from MaNa here, as he is getting his level 1 weapons upgrades. We could be seeing that armor come immediately after that as well. Aristeo still on the 2 bases, working up to a layer tech. Hasn't gotten any upgrades or anything like that quite as of yet. Zealot in the center of the map gets caught by some Speedlings, trying to get as many kills as possible. He gets 2 before he gets taken out, and didn't manage to get that 3rd swipe there on that Zergling. Unfortunately enough for him. And again, we will be seeing a 7-gate push here from MaNa. Is he going to go straight for armor? Yes, he will. So he's going to be waiting. This is going to be a timing push here from MaNa with the 1-1 upgrades and the 7 gates churning out units. This is what he is planning to do in the very, very near future. As soon as he gets that finished, he'll be pushing out. He'll likely be pushing out before it finishes so that he arrives when the armor is finished. That's going to be the assumption, anywho. Moving out with a couple of sentries, trying to get that tower back, and that's about that. Should be pulling back after that. We do have a Spore Crawler coming out. Looks like Aristeo just doesn't really know what's going on. He hasn't managed to get any Overlord scouting into the main. As you can see, this is the Overlord, the only Overlord that he has chilling out over there. Look at how many Zealots moving across the map right now, as MaNa is preparing his push. The armor still coming on through. Would like to see some Chrono Boost, unless he's saving that to get some additional warp-ins a little quicker, and that may be the case, but he is making his push right now and preparing to engage. You can see right now we'll be starting to drop some pylons. He would have really loved that additional probe for some pylons on this side as well, but he will just have to suffice with what he has got. Should be seeing at least one more. We might be seeing another one somewhere over here. It's going to be a possibility of trying to get one as close to the battlefield as possible. Here comes a push a little bit before that armor upgrade. He's trying to hit as early as possible here. That armor should be finishing about halfway through the battle unless it gets finished really quickly. Spinecrawl trying to do some damage, gets a transfuse, but ends up getting dropped. Some nice force fields there from MaNa. His force is getting smaller and smaller as we are going to be seeing Aristeo pump out those roaches, and the roaches plus Spinecrawlers proved to be an amazing defense here for Aristeo, and unfortunately MaNa hitting early may have been a mistake. May have been a better idea to wait for that armor upgrade, but he's going to continue up this push as he gets another warping. Keep in mind he does have 7 gates, so every 30 or so seconds he's going to be able to warp in an additional 7 units. Couple idle Zealots, that's a big mistake there for MaNa. I do not know why he did not have those in that engagement. I think they may have just not hit that rally. A lot of times what will happen is you'll be warping in units, and what you can do is while they're warping in, you can grab them and rally them to a position. However, he may just have not done that, may have forgotten to do that, and I'm not exactly sure what transpired there, but unfortunately that push for MaNa did not prove to be successful. That is certainly the one thing that we know for sure. Wasn't the greatest push there for MaNa. We'll take a look at the resources lost. You can see MaNa quite significantly behind here. Going to be seeing a little bit of counter aggression from Aristeo. This will not be doing much damage though. I think he's just testing the front just to see what he's up against. Still just Zealots. We have got a Twilight Council coming out for MaNa. Take a look at where that is and what he's going to get next. That's the next question. There it is. Blink Stalkers, what we'll be seeing here from MaNa. Now Aristeo is moving into his 3rd base. As you can see, he's getting that hatchery coming on through. Also getting some upgrades here. Infestation Pit is up, getting those pathogen glands, giving that extra energy to those infestors. Also the level 2 missile attack. So he will be going roach heavy, throwing some infestors in the mix. Maybe have a couple of Speedlings here and there, but not a heavy amount, at least as of now. You can see he's got 6 Lings. MaNa trying to prepare to move into his 3rd base as well. However, I think Aristeo will be doing what he can to try to deny that. Would really like him to send an Overlord or something over there just to get some eyes on this expansion as well. You can see he's got eyes on that expo. Pushing now, will be forcing a cancel. I don't think MaNa has got enough to deal with this. There it is, forced cancel, and that is huge. Really going to delay MaNa right there. Roaches continuing to push right now. They're doing okay now, but another warp in could prove to be their demise. A couple of force fields trap some roaches on the wrong side, and some warp ins from the back side as well. Those roaches will be continuing to push back right now, as they don't currently have the numbers necessary to deal with this. That's a problem. You push out with X amount of units and without any reinforcements, and as you can see, Aristeo wasn't planning on reinforcing. He was just trying to harass and delay that expansion. But with that, that means eventually a time will come that you'll be pushed back as the Protoss player, of course, continues to warp in units. Some more upgrades coming out here for MaNa, also coming out with that robotics facility. as he has now just finished the blink research. We do have a fourth base coming out for Aristeo. Taking a look at Mana Vision, not a whole lot going on. One scouting zealot checking this spot for an expo, but as we can see, Aristeo has dropped his fourth over here, and of course his third is in this position. Some more nice creep spread going on. He is now working up to those heavy infestor numbers. He's got 6 in play, 24 roaches. We get some more roaches and lings coming out. Also tunneling claws coming out for the roaches, which is really nice as he has already finished that burrow research. We'll be able to use those to get underneath those force fields and nice and close to that Protoss army. And it looks like that next push will be coming from Aristeo right now. And actually a small zealot force that gets met by some roaches. That'll get taken care of very quickly. More roaches come to meet up with the rest. Very nice spread here by MaNa. Love to see it. Tunneling Claw's not yet finished. There's the force field wall, dropping down a couple of infested Terrans as well as fungal growths. This is a problem though, as the Protoss player may just have enough. The infested Terrans do a lot of DPS, and that is enough to scare MaNa and push him back. As the extra reinforcements continue to march their way across the map, and now Aristeo looks to be in a strong position here. MaNa just with Blink Stalkers, that's pretty much the only tech he's got right now. No Colossus or High Templar in play, and that is really scary at the moment. Now keep in mind once more, we do have that burrow research. Move forward with the Overseer, looking for an observer. He just wants to know if he's got one to contend with for those burrowed roaches. And as we can see, that is not the case. Overseer gets dropped, roaches continue to push forward. And nothing, unfortunately, from these infestors right now as they are all out of energy. It does look like those roaches have been pushed back right now as additional warpins make it so that Aristeo cannot continue the push and MaNa is able to defend. Keep in mind though, not a whole lot of counter aggression going on here from MaNa. He does just not have a lot going on. Overlord did scout out that pylon. Hopefully that is something that Aristeo takes care of. Looks like he'll be doing that right now. Moving down with just a couple of roaches, taking out that zealot, and then that pylon is next. There are the burrowed roaches, preparing to mobilize, actually at the moment just regenerating their health, dancing around and then pulling back. Now at the moment we can see again there's a fourth base here for Aristeo, and once he gets that saturated he's going to be sitting pretty solid there in terms of economy, and he'll be looking pretty good. MaNa unfortunately gets a supply block. Actually don't even know where that is from. Yeah, pretty interesting to be quite honest with you. Here comes another push though, moving again onto the third, spreading out the units. MaNa's trying to prepare to deal with this by getting a nice concave. So many infested Terrans gonna drop down again. Once those pop, the DPS is crazy. And they're gonna be tearing through those stalkers, of course assisted by the roaches, blinking back out of the range of the infested Terrans, exactly what he wants to do. And the push, I don't know, looking pretty close. We got some reinforcements continue to make their way across the map. More roaches going to help out quite a bit. Stalkers blinking forward, some more infested Terrans get dropped down. And he should have enough to deal with this. Yes, he does. The Stalkers push back, and now Aristeo is going to take out this expansion. That's a huge problem. More reinforcement roaches. MaNa's got no counter aggression whatsoever, and he has lost that third base. And this is not looking good at all right now for MaNa. Dropping the third, absolutely huge for Aristeo. And once more, taking a look at Mana Vision, all he's got on this side of the map is that one Zealot. There's no counter aggression at all. So right now, he's just been at the brunt of the assault here from Aristeo without doing much damage in return. We take a look at the resources lost. You can see how far behind MaNa is right now. MaNa, realizing that is it, just calls the GG. Alright my friends, that was game number 1 here between MaNa and Aristeo. We will be moving on to game number 2 in just a moment. Some very nice aggression from Aristeo, coupled with that early game defense against the 7-gate push from MaNa. And then finally capping things off with this push on MaNa's third, dropping the Nexus, sealed the victory for Aristeo. We'll be moving on to game 2 in just one moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.